third of 3 straight games for BYU against teams from the American. See, Cincinnati can't knock the Cougars off. BYU beat UConn 2 weeks ago and then East Carolina this past Saturday. Will be the first meeting between Cincinnati and BYU. Cincinnati now improved to 3-2. They beat Miami, Florida, 34-23 on October 1st.
Morning.
And we've been joined by Cincinnati coach Tommy Tuberville. The Bearcats are 3-2 overall, 0-2 in the American Athletic Conference. Cincinnati comes off an open week and will be in action Friday at BYU for an 8 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPN. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call. If you would take a minute to tell us how your open week went as you prepare for the long road trip to Provo to face BYU, please.
Yeah, we went back to basic spring practice. We probably gotten in 6 practices in about 10 days, gave the guys a few days off, but we were pretty beat up, getting some guys back healthy. Just looking to build back our depth, which we had built up before the season started. Have had several very physical games. Now looking forward to get back on the field Friday night. We have 7 straight games now, and hopefully we built enough depth at certain positions where we can make it through the next month and a half.
Take questions for Coach Tuberville, please. *1 on your telephone to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We have a question from Tom Groshin with Cincinnati Enquirer.
Hi there, Coach. If you could please update us what you can say anyway publicly about Gunnar Keel and Hayden Moore in terms of, first of all, did Gunnar return to practice last week, and how's he doing, and who would you expect to start this week?
Gunnar was at practice last week, threw a few passes, but was not cleared to play. But he was cleared to play on this past Sunday, a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I guess. And so now we're looking forward to getting him back and have he and Hayden Moore compete against each other, and may the best man win.
How far will you go with that? Do you have a day when you want to make a decision on who starts, or how far will that go this week?
Yeah, we've told both of them that we'll look at all the week's practice, and as we get into it, both will get the same amount of reps. But it's good to now know that we have 2 quarterbacks we feel good about, and we'll go in with the one that had the best week of practice. And we probably won't do that until game time.
Okay. Just one more thing, Mike Boone and Johnny Holton, Chris Moore, what updates do you have on them, please?
All are in good shape. Looking forward to all of them being back.
Okay, thank you.
Next we'll hear from Ted Lewis with New Orleans Advocate.
Morning.
And of getting upset this season by a couple of upstart teams in this league. How do you see the level of play in this league coming along, and just the image of it as the best of the group of 5, so to speak? And you know where I'm going with that, just along that line of the league getting better and the competition level being improved.
Yeah, good to hear from you. It was, this conference is getting better and better. I don't think there's a touchdown difference between most of the teams in our league. Week in and week out, a lot of competition, some very good offenses. I think the offenses are ahead of the defenses on most teams, and I think that's what everybody's doing, is scrambling to keep everybody healthy on offense, but trying to get their defense up to the level of play the offense are playing. But we've got some new teams in the league, Navy being one. I think Navy's brought a lot to our conference, and they're going to be a factor because they run such a different type of offense. They're very disciplined, and they play well, and they play a lot of good teams and very good competition out of conference.
How much do you see in this league as a commitment to being serious about football, as far as the coaching they're hiring, the facilities, and so forth?
I think that the commitment is really strong. Just going to the meetings in the spring and the summer, the conference has made a huge commitment to play other teams in other leagues. Out of conference, the so-called Power 5 teams travel. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between our conference and most of the teams in the Power 5. I think in the Power 5 you've got about 10 teams that they probably put in a league, and they fight it out every year for a national championship year in and year out. And you can take everybody else and kind of throw us all in there together. So, the commitment's there. I think we have a good group of athletic directors that are committed to, making this conference better and better. And again, going out and playing teams that you would normally play, and in some cases, and a lot of cases, having success.
Terrific. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Bill Cook with GoBearCaps.com.
Tommy, you're facing a BYU team with a quarterback situation kind of similar to yours, where a freshman has stepped in and done some pretty remarkable things. What are your opinion of Tanner Mangum and what he's done for them, especially late in games?
He's been amazing to watch. Now, I've been very familiar with this offense that they've run at BYU. Lavelle Edwards for years. I coached against Lavelle Edwards in the 90s when I was at the University of Miami. They were on the cutting edge of pro-style passing offense, balanced offense years ago, and there's not a lot of difference in the offense they run today as what Lavelle Edwards did years ago, and it's a tribute to him and the coaches that have followed him. Most of them played for him, coached with him. They just kept that engine going and throw in another part. And usually the players that run this offense either grow up in it or know a lot about it. And I just call it a system, but it's a pro system. It's not some of these chuck and duck teams they're out there now. This is a pro style offense that trains quarterbacks to run an offense, get the most out of it, making decisions. And this is just another quarterback in a long line of quarterbacks that runs the system very well.
One other thing, how do you feel about your defense at this point? I know you expect it to be a lot improved. They've shown flashes of being better and some flashes of not being better. Where do you think the defense is now?
We've showed a little bit of life in the last game against Miami. We've been hit and miss most of the year. Lost players. We don't have many returning starters in our secondary that is playing today that started at the beginning of the year. Same at linebacker, move those guys around. We've been pretty lucky, with injuries with the defensive line, and we have some depth there. But we're a work in progress. We're definitely that. So we've got to tackle better. Even though we did beat the University of Miami a couple of weeks ago, the fastest and probably the most athletic team that we'll play all year long, we still missed to 20 tackles, and that's way too many. So that being said, we've got to really get better to have a chance to win any, if any, the games down in the stretch of 7 that we have left. But I like the way we practiced. We went back to basics last week. As I said earlier, we worked on our depth. We worked on fundamentals. We worked on tackling. We worked on getting the right athletes on the field at the right time. Just a lot of things. And we go back and we self-scout ourselves when we have an open date week like that, and the good and the bad. And we've cut back some things and we've added some things we think that will help with the personnel now that we have on the field.
Okay. Thank you.
And do you have any other questions for Coach Tuberville, please? Start one on your telephone if so. Coach, thank you for your time this afternoon. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday. That is Coach Tommy Tuberville from Cincinnati. Again, the Bearcats visit Brigham Young on Friday.